All right, I'm going to give you an area to think about for your field gear, either to slip inside your rucksack or to put inside a cache container. I'm doing some boxes of cooking items for use by field mess team. So it's going to have the utensils, pots, and that type of stuff that I can fit in a case that I think could be useful in the field for feeding a unit. And recently here, I went to a museum. It was more of a pioneer museum. I went through the gift shop and I found this, and this is something I do recommend. A book called Log Cabin Cooking by Barbara Swell, copyright 96. I think I paid $8 or less for this in the gift shop. What this is, it is recipes from the pioneer era. So these are going to be simple recipes using few ingredients, things that, you know, were easier to get a hold of. Your base items. Like the items that I try to put in food caches, that I try to put in those packs. Basic food storage items that are long-term storage, don't require refrigeration, don't require freezing. You know, it's not a liquid or a wet item, so I don't have to worry about it freezing in the ground or spoiling. Well, you know, you should have a way to come up with some recipes to use that stuff that you have in those food caches, and this is one option. You know, it didn't cost much and it does look pretty good. When I was looking through it, there are different bread recipes, there's meat recipes in here, stews, soups. Here's a table of contents here, which naturally doesn't want to zoom in too well. This thing has make do cooking as one chapter, food sources, where to cook, cooking equipment, explanation on measurements, wheat recipes, corn recipes, pottages, which is soups and stews, meat and wild game, vegetables, fruits, desserts, fake or mock foods. You didn't always have the real items, so you had to substitute. They have recipes on that in here. There's beverages, butter making, honey, molasses. There's also some old school home remedies in here from the pioneer era for helping people when they get sick or injured and you're trying to prevent infection. So I do recommend get this. You know, you're cooking your unit, maybe get something like this, toss it inside a rucksack. Otherwise, you know, toss it inside that cache that's going to have the cooking items. You know, slip this in the case with those pots and pans. Now, I also have some older books here that I've come across at thrift shops and garage sales and stuff. This first one here, looking through, I do recommend this. Wild Edible by Bernd Berglund and Claire Bowlesby. I think it was 1971, I think, was the copyright on this one. Now this, it says on here on the front, a complete cookbook and guide to edible wild plants in Canada and North America. And then looking through, you'll have a page for a particular plant, and it has a drawing. Personally, I prefer color pictures, but drawing works too. It explains when to harvest that particular plant, where to find it, what pieces of the plant is edible. And there are recipes in there for that particular plant. So this might be another one that you might want to think about getting a hold of and adding into your stuff. Now, you could come across something like this, which is another one I found. I think this one at a garage sale. How Indians Use Wild Plants for Food, Medicine, and Crafts by Francis Densmore. And I think this one was 1974 when I looked at the copyright inside. This one does have some pictures in it, but mostly it's this. Okay, it's just a list of the plant what you can use from the plant, and a little bit, you know, what you can use it for. There are some recipes and stuff in here, but this one not quite as helpful as probably what this one would be. Are there other books out there? Hell yes, there are. I would really love to find a wild edibles type book that has color photographs in it, has good explanations on what pieces of the plant are edible, at what time of year, how to prepare them, how to eat them. You know, maybe throw in there some pioneer type recipes. You know, I would like to come across something like that. I haven't yet. I come across what I can find and grab what I can, and you know, I pack this stuff up, toss a few of them inside the cases with the cook gear. Now, there are some books that I do recommend that you could look for that I do not have out because they're inside my there are some books that I did not pull out of the library to bring out here. One of them is Canteen Cup Cookery by Galen Gear from 1985. It's a really small book. That one primarily dealt with C rations and MREs, taking basic items from those and turning them into meals using your canteen cup in the field. So it was aimed towards the soldier. Another thing that you can look for potentially adding into your stuff is maybe some cookbooks using Dutch ovens and cast iron. I know one that I see quite a bit is from Lodge Cast Iron called Field Guide to Dutch Oven Cooking, which is from 2006. So I will put some links in the description of this video and also at the top of a pinned comment for over at YouTube to some channels that deal with more pioneer era, explorer era recipes and stuff, some chuck wagon type stuff, links to different cookbooks and that type of stuff that I could find PDFs on. One of them will be to the PDF for the Army Manual for Bakers from around World War I. Try to get a paper copy of that. It is out there. And the reason you want to get a paper copy of that and have it with you in the field, it actually shows in that manual how to make an oven in the field for baking bread on a mass scale to feed large numbers of troops. That might be something useful to have with you. Maybe get some copies of that, toss it in those caches, or whoever your cook is, have them carry a small copy of that inside their bag. You know, because you want that reference material. Your cook's primary job is to feed you guys. You supply him the materials. He has to figure out how to take those materials and come up with something that you guys are going to be willing to eat, that you're going to want to eat, and you're going to be able to keep down. Help them out. You know, help them find some of those books. You know, of these three, I'd say these two definitely are recommended if you can find them. Or you could go through, and this might be the best bet for you, make your own unit cookbook. Have your cook go through and find that stuff online. Pull out individual recipes from different cookbooks and stuff like this and survival books, throw them in there. Make some color photographs, put them in there. And then go through, laminate it, whatever you want to do. Make a nice little binder book out of it. You know, have your cook carry that or put copies of that inside your caches for your field mess team. Reference material. Plain and simple. And these two I do recommend the most. Now, if you have any that are better than that or ones that you would recommend, go ahead, put down the name of it, the author of it in the comments here, and potentially a link going to it. I will check the links And if I find any of them are bad links, you know, that link will get pulled down, and it's possible that person could get banned, because I do have trolls coming through that are still posting porn links on the videos, and the people that do that get banned. So someone could try slipping that in there. If I catch you doing that, you will get banned outright, no questions. Now, for all my engineer brothers and the Patriot Militia movements, always remember, essayons.